Today on The Board Journalist, we're going to Detroit, Michigan, a city with a complicated past and an unbreakable spirit. Known as the birthplace of Motown, the Motor City that built America's auto industry and a symbol of grit and resilience. But beyond the music, factories, and sports legends, Detroit is also home to stories that are haunting, heartbreaking, and sometimes hidden beneath the headlines. Today's story is one of them. At 1:15 a.m. on September 21st, 2016, a chilling 911 call came into dispatch from a home in Dearborn Heights, just outside of Detroit. The voice on the line was calm, too calm. It was 49-year-old Gregory Green, and what he said was horrifying. He told police that he had just murdered his family. When officers arrived, Gregory was already outside, waiting. No fight, no resistance, just silence. What they found inside the house would haunt them forever. 4 children were gone. Chadney, Kara, Coy, and Kaylee. His wife, Faith Green, was severely injured, but she was still alive. It was a massacre. But what made it worse, this wasn't Gregory Green's first time killing. In 1991, Gregory murdered his first wife. Her name was Tanya Green. She was 7 months pregnant at the time with his child. He stabbed her to death while her children were in the house. Her daughter Danielle hid in a closet. Another daughter, Bridget, who had cerebral palsy, was unharmed, but would still grow up without a mother and without a sibling who never even got a chance at life. Let's take a look at this news clip, which gives us a brief recap of the murder of Gregory Green's first wife and unborn child, and also includes a statement from the biological father of Kara and Chadney.
My daughter was beautiful, cheerleading, and she had her head on her shoulders, and my son was a graduate. He was doing things, he wanted to be a producer, He had high potential. I just felt like I lost all my, I never knew that it would end so soon like this.
Chadney Allen Sr. cannot believe his 2 children, 17-year-old Kara and 19-year-old Chadney Jr. are gone. Police say their stepfather shot them both in front of their mother to punish her because she wanted a divorce and he suspected she had been cheating.
I know they were calling for me. I know my daughter. They was wishing I was there to help them.
Dearborn Heights police say Gregory Green also murdered his own biological daughters, 6-year-old Coy and 4-year-old Kaylee. Green's brother claims the children's mother, Faith Green, knew her husband murdered his first wife, Tanya.
Like I got hit by a semi-truck because I had no idea that guy was who he was.
I was totally just numb.
We talked on the phone to Monica Johnson. It was her cousin, Tanya Green, who Gregory Green murdered in 1991.
The last stab when they said went through the baby's heart, and that's what actually killed the baby.
The family was devastated a second time when Green was only sentenced to 15 years in prison.
I hope he never sees daylight again.
The father of 2 of Green's latest murder victims wishes he had known that Green murdered his first wife and unborn child.
I don't even think any punishment could fit the crime. If we had the electric chair, I would want him to fry.
And in 1992, Gregory Green's own mother asked the judge for leniency in that murder case. She said, quote, "I don't believe a long sentence will make him any better because he has suffered already and will continue to suffer for the rest of his life." She died several years ago, never knowing he would be charged again with the same crime.
Gregory tried to plead insanity in that case. It didn't work. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison, and eventually the justice system let him walk free in 2008. He was denied parole 4 times for showing no remorse, but was finally granted release after receiving support letters. One of those letters came from Faith Green's own father. Not long after his release, Gregory married Faith. It was 2010. She had 2 kids already, Kara and Chadney, and in the years that followed, they had 2 more, Coy and Kaylee. Faith tried to get help. In 2013, she filed a personal protection order telling police that Gregory was threatening her, destroying things in the house, and once kicked the couch while the baby was sleeping on it. She said, "He jumped at me like he was going to attack." She filed for divorce in 2014 and again in 2016. Each time, the danger escalated. Faith has since said there were red flags. The mood swings, the controlling behavior, the way Gregory distanced himself from her older children. It was like being married but feeling completely alone. Gregory paid the bills, but he didn't want to be a part of the family. Then came the plan, and the night everything fell apart. A week before the murders, Gregory went to Home Depot and bought materials to alter his car's exhaust system. On the night of the murders, he placed Coy and Kaylee in the backseat of his Nissan Altima. He rigged the car to funnel carbon monoxide inside. He poisoned his own daughters while they slept. Then he went back into the house. He zip-tied Faith's wrists, slashed both sides of her face with a box cutter, and shot her in the foot. Then he brought Kara and Chadney to the basement, then set them side by side and did the unthinkable. Faith was made to witness it all. Gregory Green would plead guilty to 4 counts of second-degree murder. In exchange, charges like unlawful imprisonment and felonious assault were dropped. He was sentenced to 45 to 100 years in prison. He'll be eligible for parole at the age of 97. Now let's watch this powerful clip of Faith as she speaks in court before the sentencing of her ex-husband for the murder of her children. As you'll see, the scars left by Gregory Green are still very visible, not just physically, but emotionally as well.
I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied with the outcome. There's no punishment that fits the crime. Not even torture and death would be justice. Your justice will come when you burn in hell for all eternity, for murdering 4 innocent children, all because you're insecure as a man. Plus the other 2 lives you took. You are a con artist, you are a monster, you are a devil in disguise. You are now forever exposed. I've thought over and over again what I would say, even though it doesn't even matter. First of all, I am not and did not and will not suffer like you intended for me to do. What you tried to do didn't work. You tried to separate them from each other. They are siblings who loved each other and spent time with one another. Trying to split them up didn't work. They are together more than ever. Chadney and Kara are still watching over their little sisters, Coy and Kaylee, forever. I carried each one of them in my womb for 9 months and raised them. Nothing or no one, sure as hell, not you, can break me or break my bond with them. But while I stand up here trembling with fear, I put on my bravest face to be in the same room with the man who murdered all 4 of my children. 2 of them violently in front of me with a gun, Chadney and Kara. And he killed my other 2 babies, Coy and Kaylee, with a hose that ran from the tailpipe of his car to where they were innocently sleeping. As if that wasn't enough, let me tell you about some of the devastation that it has actually done to me and my family. My short-term memory is gone. Doctors tell me it's my brain protecting me from the memories of my children being shot in their heads right in front of me, while I was gagged, duct-taped, and zip-tied. Every time I find strength to get out of bed, as soon as I walk, I'm in extreme pain, sharp pain, from where he shot me in my foot. They don't know if I'll ever walk again without pain. Think about that for a second. Never being able to walk without pain. My doctors say I have post-traumatic stress disorder. That's where the migraines and nightmares come from. Sometimes I dream of the night all this happened and wake up screaming and sweating, thinking that I can save my children somehow. Then I realize that the nightmare is actually reality and my children are really gone, and I try to find the strength to start my day somehow. Other times, there's just crazy nightmares that I wake up from in fear and try to understand them, but I'm told that they all link back to this horrific experience I have had. I can't think of the last time I really rested without medication. I can still feel the zip ties around my wrist, and it triggers horrible memories of that night. There's times I find myself drifting off into thought and then realize I'm not thinking of anything. I'm empty, lost, I'm lost, not really knowing what to do with myself, just existing day to day. I miss my children so much that words will never be able to explain.
Faith Green survived, but what she lives with every day is something no one should ever have to bear. By 2023, she was traveling, kayaking, visiting parks, doing anything to feel human again. She became a keynote speaker for a Detroit nonprofit called Hush, sharing her story to help others. That night, she was awarded funds to help launch businesses in honor of her children. Chadwear, to celebrate Chadney's artistic spirit. A lip gloss and sanitizer brand to honor Coy and Kaylee. And in Carrie's name, she accepted her daughter's high school diploma posthumously. A scholarship now exists in her memory. Faith's message is simple and heartbreaking. Get help, even if you think you don't need it. Faith also wrote a book, The Monster That Killed His Family Twice, the Faith Green story. I'll leave the link below to that book. As we go into this last clip with Gregory talking, I just feel like he isn't sorry. And I hate how these criminals always bring God and Christianity into it. Yes, I'm a believer, but I don't believe I could forgive someone in this instance. As I said on my previous video, you taking away my child, an innocent child, because you're a coward and you can't deal with the fact that I want to leave you. No, you don't get prayers from me, and I'm not sorry about that.
I do regret and I'm sorry for what has happened. All I've ever wanted was a God-fearing helpmate that would support me and be faithful no matter what. Really dedicated to the whole family. That put aside, I have to be humble, very humble, because God knows the heart. He knows how regretful, how sorry I am. And even now, after all this, He still has a plan. And I'm not giving up on that plan. Because God is God. And there's not one day that go by that I don't think of my girls. Not one day, often picturing them playing and talking to their Heavenly Father. And I pray that God be with Chadney and Karen. I feel bad for how this has deeply impacted everyone. And may God help them, help me, help us all. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for watching The Bored Journalist. There are too many stories like Faith's, too many victims we never hear about. That needs to change. Stay safe and stay aware.